Today we're talking about the Waves Magma Springs Reverb, so if you want to first off know what spring reverb actually is, and then secondly of course hear this plugin in action, then stick around after this introduction. Welcome everybody, I'm Dan Spencer and I am the Audio Sorcerer. So this is the channel where I teach you how to perfect your audio recording, mixing and mastering skills. So if you are looking to improve upon any of those skills, get the latest product reviews, and even learn about music business, then make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss a new video when it comes out. So without further ado, today we are talking about the Waves Magma Springs Reverb plugin, which of course is a spring reverb plugin. What we want to do first here is discuss what actually spring reverb is, because some of you guys may not know. Now, spring reverb is not really reverb. It's actually taking a sound and putting it through springs, and it kind of creates the illusion of reverb, so it has a very metallic metal sound to it. Now, spring reverb is very popular on guitars. You'll find it in guitar amplifiers. It sounds good on vocals, and it's also great for creating some creative effects for your instruments in a song. Okay, so in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the user interface of the plugin so you'll know how to use it. And then secondly, I'm going to be dialing this in on a lead vocal track. So I'm just going to let the vocal track play, and I'm going to adjust all the parameters so I find settings that I like. I'm not going to speak during this part, so you get a good idea of what this plugin can do and what it sounds like. So by the end of this little demo, we'll have a fully dialed in vocal track, okay? So I do want to mention, if you do end up liking this plugin, I have a link in the description below where you can purchase it. And now that that is all out of the way, let's get further into today's topic and look at the user interface of the Waves Magma Springs Reverb plugin. Alright, so here we are in Pro Tools and I have the Waves Magma Springs Reverb plugin open. So as you can see here, this is the user interface, and these are the controls that it has to offer. So we're going to go over these controls one by one so you know how to use them, what this plugin does, and essentially what it has to offer. So starting on the left-hand side here, this is the drive knob, and this will inject saturation into the overall reverb sound. Next, we have the pre-delay. This is how quickly the reverb kicks in. So this is a great feature to use on vocals so that the vocals don't sound washed out, okay? Beneath that, we have feedback, which is very common on delay plugins as opposed to reverb plugins. This is how quickly a sound repeats after it initially kicks in. So that's the feedback. In this middle section here, these are our 7 different types of spring reverb. These are profiles here, and they each have their own unique sounds. Beneath that, we have the length of this reverb. We have short, medium, and long. Over on the right-hand side here, we have our treble and bass. That's our little, minor EQ for this reverb sound. Next, we have the mix knob here. So this would be if you want to put this right on a track as opposed to using it on a bus. If you're using it on a bus, you want to have the mix all the way up, okay? Beneath that, we have our output level. And then beneath that, lastly, we have either stereo or mono. And even if you put this on a stereo bus, you can kick this over to mono and it will become mono. So that's actually pretty cool. And those are all the controls that you need to know about in the Waves Magma Springs Reverb. So now let's get to the fun part of this video, and we are going to dial in this reverb on a vocal track. Alright, so we're going to work with this vocal track in context with the mix, and it's just a vocal track and some acoustic guitars, so we'll be able to get a very good idea what this reverb sounds like. And I'm going to over-exaggerate the reverb as we're dialing it in, and then by the end of this here, I'm going to have chosen the profile I think sounds best for this particular song, and then, get it fully dialed in. So, let's begin.
Because I love you. My heart is tattooed. These feelings are new. Because I want this to last for the future and the past. I love you. I love you. Because I love you. My heart is tattooed. These feelings are new. Because I want this to last, for the future and the past. I love you, I love you. Because I love you. My heart is tattooed. These feelings are new. Because I want this to last, for the future and the past. I love you, I love you. Because I love you. My heart is tattooed. These feelings are new. Because I want this to last, for the future and the past. I love you, I love you. Because I love you. My heart is tattooed. These feelings are new. Because I want this to last, for the future and the past. I love you, I love you.
All right, so you got to hear all these parameters in action on my little vocal demo here. And these are the settings that I decided upon. And let me explain why I chose these. So starting on the left-hand side here with drive, we obviously don't need to saturate the reverb a lot on a slow song. So I thought that 20% sounded pretty darn good. And then for the pre-delay here, I actually did this in tempo. So this is a 16th note of the BPM. And I thought that that sounded good and it didn't wash out the vocal track. Beneath that, for feedback, we don't really need feedback on a slow song, but I just thought it sounded kind of cool for this particular vocal track, and I did this around 30%. Over here on the right-hand side, our EQ section, spring reverb tends to be a little bit on the brighter side, so I did pull back the treble knob, and I also pulled back the bass knob a little bit to thin it out because I want this vocal track to sound somewhat dry and somewhat in your face, because it's more intimate that way. So that's what I did with these EQs to help with that. Now, I did switch this over to mono very briefly so you can hear what it sounds like, but of course I wanted this to be on stereo. Now, for the profiles here, I narrowed it down to 3. I liked Motor City, Classic, and California for this track. Now for California, the reason that I chose this one is because it's a little bit on the brighter side and it just sounded really good on this vocal track in the mix. It's really not all that different than Classic, especially when you pull back, the level of the reverb. But California just has something a little extra special to it that I like. And I think it's more on the high end of the reverb. Now, Motor City is fantastic in the lower mids, but I thought it kind of muddied up the vocals a little bit, and I didn't feel like it was quite right for this song. So overall, California was my choice. Now, going down here, lastly, to our length, short was just too short, long was too long, and medium was just perfect. So that's really no other way to say it. That's how I chose that, okay? So that is what the Waves Magma Springs Reverb sounds like on a vocal track in an acoustic mix. All right, so there you have it. That is my review / tutorial on the Waves Magma Springs Reverb plugin. So I should mention, I'm not a heavy spring reverb user. I like my room reverbs and I like my plate reverbs. However, I feel like this plugin has a lot to offer with its 7 profiles, and you could probably find a place for it in your workflow. And with that being said, if you do end up liking this plugin, I have a link in the description below where you can purchase it. And if you do end up purchasing it, leave me a message in the comments below and let me know what you think of it, okay? So if you ended up liking this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe because I'm making this content for you, and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. And if you did enjoy this content, check out my review/tutorial on my favorite Waves Reverb plugin, which is Echosphere. And with that being said, until next video, I will see you guys later, and peace out.